Alright, I think I'll do another video for doing the corners. Actually, as long as I'm here. Again, from the other files, piece of plywood should be easy. Always go back to this. This is our start point right here. We'll make a piece of plywood, 4 feet by 8 feet. Come on, machine, let's do this. I always look at the corner. Actually, the big number's coming up first. If you look down in the bottom right corner, it says 12 feet and change versus 5 feet and change. So the big number's coming up first. If it's a 4 foot by 8 feet piece of plywood, the 8 feet is the big number, so that's got to go in first. So I do it in inches. I could do 8 apostrophe for 8 feet, but instead I'm going to do 96, which is 96 inches is 8 feet, comma 48. 48 inches is 4 feet. There's my piece of plywood. And I'll take this guy. I'm going to live dangerously because I think everything's a group up here, so I don't have to group it yet. I'm going to put it right where the wood starts. Then I'm going to pull it out 0.75. That's 3/4 of an inch. And there's my first piece of plywood. Make that a group. I could take this guy and move a copy down if I want to check this, make sure it goes on the axis, move it down 8 feet. I could even hit ×4, so x4, enter. I'll have to trim that one on the end. And then if we had all of these guys, I could select one and then hold down shift, get these other guys. Sometimes when you do this, it'll actually select the stuff behind it, so you got to be a little careful. These things are 4 feet high, so I can move a copy up 4 feet. Come on, you slow machine. And then we don't want the seams to run into each other, so we're going to have to move this whole section back this way. Come on. Move it down this way. 16 inches. And you can see, even though I moved it 16 inches, the seams are still lining up on the stud. Just going to go in here on this one and edit this guy. We'll pull the end, just push it in and touch the end of the building or the end of this piece of plywood. That fixes that one. Come down to the other end like this. We'll edit this one. Good to go there. If I was doing this, I would do this. I would take this piece and rotate a copy. So I'm going to tap Q, if you're a Chroma, Q, Control, in class on a Mac, Q, Alt, probably the same on Windows, but on a Chromebook, Q, Control. I'm just going to rotate. I'll hit the up arrow key, and I'm going to rotate this piece of plywood over like this, 90 degrees. But it's probably going to be in the wrong spot. Let's take a look at it. Actually, I hit the right point on it. Depending on where you rotate that from, you really want to rotate it off at that point. But it's got to be sitting on the outside like that. Ooh, I forgot something. The problem here, I should have put this piece of plywood in first because we can fix this, but what's going to happen is this. If this piece ended up here, the spacing would work. And the reason I know that is I can see it goes halfway on this one. Because the plywood has to overlap, we need to change the spacing on this a little bit. So what we'll do is this. Should be pretty easy. So this always has to create a square corner right here, which I put it back like This is all one plane, including this, and then it turns the corner onto this. So our best bet here is we'll just take this wall section. Actually, we could do two at once. We'll take this one and shift-click this one. And we're just going to move it on the axis, I hope. It's going to move it to the right and tell it to go 0.75. That's all good. Our spacing should work now, but we got a little problem up here. So I'm going to try to edit this blind. I'm just going to click on this 9,000 times till I can edit this piece right here. Here's a trick way to do this. If I drag a box like that, it's going to grab the whole end. Even if I can't see it, it's going to grab the whole end. And then I can just hit M and move it back to there, which should be 0.75. That fixes that. Have to hide this. It's going so slow. There's our problem right there. Click this 9,000 times. Drag a box like that from left to right. And we'll just move this over. Just moving that entire plane. And still it's going to move 0.75. Rather than fixing two of them, I'm just going to kill this one. Go and double check this end, which is now short. We'll do the same thing. Grab the end, got to go from left to right. Move it over, I could snap it right to that point. Wow, it's going so slow. Do it at the bottom, do it at the top. We should be okay. I could also just kick it out like this, move it out, as long as it was going on the axis. .75. Okay. Now I can move this thing back to the other side. So really I want to grab its top right point. Move the copy over. Come on, you slow machine. I'm definitely going to go over and check that because this is going really slow and acting weird. And it looks right. All right. On to the next video.